What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Jungle Beat Podcast, episode 19. We got a great show.
Great show.
Ahead of us. Generational show. You might want one of these. We got a real fun crew in today. So we got the Action Sports Jacks team, or at least a portion of them. Mm-hmm. We got my boy, the Goodwill Hunting of football, I like to say.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Dan Griffis. What's
Hello
going
there.
on, man?
Hey.
Have you ever seen Goodwill Hunting?
I have, yes.
All right,
Oh, you get the reference?
Big Matt Damon fan.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
And we got the legend himself. Not great, but amazing. We're gonna raise the standard.
Amazing.
I saw the tweet today. We're not gonna cut that. We're the bold city.
Yeah.
So we got Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Hope these shades look good because you guys gave them to me.
They look good on you, man.
All right, good enough.
The jacket with the shades. Yeah, come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
And we got my boy Flash. I'm Connor. So let's go, guys. Do a little cheers.
Yes,
Cheers.
sir.
Go
Cheers.
Jags.
Cheers to
sir.
Diet Coke.
Coca-Cola.
I gotta do TV.
All right.
Man.
Was this a fun week or what?
Man, come on.
Is this Jacksonville? I'm confused.
Come on, man.
Are the Jags supposed to be this good?
Hey, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Are we supposed to be this good?
Have we ever
No.
been this good?
No.
Not supposed to be this
We're
good.
not supposed to be this good.
Brent, how long have you been covering the team?
18 years, 2008.
How many of those were fun?
2010 was okay.
Yeah.
8-8. They lost down the stretch.
That
And
was the 59-yard kick and Hail Mary
It was.
season. Yeah.
Yeah. So they won a couple of those, and then
yeah.
they were 8-5, and then lost the last three.
Wow.
So didn't get in. 2017 was obviously fun.
Yep.
2018 was fun for a month. 2022 was fun for the last couple of months.
Yep.
2023 was fun for the first couple of months. And this one. Really, this one front to back.
Yeah.
Probably like
Electric.
2017.
Yeah.
Now we still got 3 to go.
Right.
But this one probably rivals that.
That's what I was going to say. I think this is the most complete season of the Jaguars team where they've been this good. Like,
Yeah.
I know we've had some up and downs throughout the year. Like, I think that's just part of the NFL season, to be honest. But I'm excited. So let's get into last week, though.
Yeah.
We're going to give out a game ball. Anybody have a good game ball they want to give away?
I don't. It was such an up and down game. I can't figure it out. No, man, give it to 16, man.
Trevor's
Come on.
best game
Come
as
on,
a Jag.
man. That was incredible.
I think I've seen him have, we've seen him throw over 300 yards before.
Yeah.
We've seen him have a couple touchdowns here and there, use his legs. But I think this is
Complete.
if you're not going to get this every week.
No.
You're not going to play the Jets every week.
No.
But
Not at all.
for him, his accuracy, decision-making, playmaking, like across the board, it was
Across the board.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's get some initial takeaways from the game. And Trevor, what do you guys think? Let's go with Dan. What's your initial takeaways from the game and Trevor's performance?
And it sucks that we're giving out a game ball and we can't give it to the running back who had 3
No,
touchdowns.
you can't.
Well, you definitely
no,
can.
You can do that.
Trevor still deserves
Yeah.
it. But it's, I think the Jaguars, I'd have to double check, but I'm fairly certain. I know Etienne leads running backs with 5 receptions.
Yep.
Nice.
And I think the Jaguars have the most in the NFL, 7.
Really?
Okay.
With Tootin's got 2.
Tootin's got 2, yeah.
Etienne's got 5.
Okay.
So it's really hard to give to not give it to him. But I mean, Trevor had 6.
Yeah, right.
And one of his was rushing.
Yeah,
So you have a
yeah.
quarterback who ran one in, and you have a running back who
Who
scored
caught?
3
Yeah, who caught through there?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Trevor, and it's fun to watch too. Not only the team progress, but also Liam Cohen as a play caller.
Right.
Yeah.
Who in the last few weeks, Brent and I were talking about it before the show. Like, they struggled in the screen game early on in the season, and they've kind of gone away from that now. And it's much more of a downfield attacking the middle of the defense, using Jacoby Myers to do some stuff there, as well as now you have the deep ball going with Brian
BTJ,
Thomas Jr.
yeah.
And heck, Tim Patrick
Yeah.
against the Colts.
100%.
So there's a lot of things. Jaguars are probably playing their best ball right now across the board, and kudos to Trevor Lawrence, but also Liam Cohen for making a lot of things easy, whether it's the Jacoby Myers touchdown last week, or this week they had a similar play with Tootin
With-
down the
yeah,
sideline as well. Really opening things up for Trevor, and kudos to both of them for making it work.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would have probably said Cohen to give him the game
Oh, okay.
ball. I
Yeah,
mean, if
yeah,
you can go away
100%.
from a player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 10 wins in 14 games, first of all. You don't get
Impressive.
10 wins around here very often in franchise history.
Yeah.
No.
And really what I like about what he did is he never took the foot off the gas. And he also said, hey, I see the box score. Let's go get him 300. You know, and I think I tweeted this during the game, and I said this really for Urban's year,
Yep.
but even at times for Doug. Listen, we're in a perception world when it comes to specifically the quarterback. And one of the things that bothered me the most about covering the Jags in 18 years is it took Trevor Lawrence, I think, like a dozen games to get to 10 touchdown passes
Yeah.
in his rookie season.
Yeah.
And to me, that was all on Urban because you don't have to run it in from the 1 yard line at first and goal. You can get some of the, like, you don't want the people talk about the quarterback like he still doesn't have 10 touchdowns in his rookie season. By the way, he had 3 in the opener against Houston.
Right.
And so he went like 11 games with 6 touchdown passes.
Jesus.
And that's it. So I think just even the realization of that, and I know he doesn't probably care about stats. I don't think Trevor does either, which is cool about Trevor. But he had the opportunity to go get him, and then it opened up a little bit. Well, he wasn't going to get 300, and then it opened up when they scored the other touchdown to make it a 41-20 game or whatever
And
it was.
wasn't that a
So
screen
he went back.
to ETN?
Well, then it was the screen ETN.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times they were going to throw it on that possession, but it worked out just
Yeah,
like that to get it.
immediately, yeah.
So everything fell in line. And look what happened since then.
Yep.
Look at the perception around the country
Yep.
on Trevor Lawrence. Look what it's raised his
Well-
status to. AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, he did win
Next
that.
Player of the
Yeah,
Week.
yeah.
People are talking about him,
Yeah.
you know, and they're noticing. And so is that important? I don't know.
I
But
will
I think sometimes that outside noise gets loud for the QB
It does.
I
It
over the
agree.
does.
years.
I will say it is important though. I think the perception thing, you're right on with that. I think going forward in this, like going into this game, everybody kind of felt that same vibe. We're like, hey, we need to get Trevor over 300. Like, I
Right,
think everybody felt
right.
that. We need him to not only perform but over exceed his expectations in
Yeah,
this game.
yeah,
And if nothing else, just continue the momentum of Arizona. Even though we had all those
Yeah, he still won the
those
game.
turnovers,
He won the
he
game.
still played great. I thought.
Yeah.
The Tennessee game, Colts game.
I thought he was going to
obviously.
get 4 touchdowns in the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
got
I
2
did-
right
yeah.
off the rip,
Yeah.
remember?
I
did-
And then
I
they
did
got
too.
clunky on offense after that.
Yeah.
So.
It
So
did,
I think it just for going into a deep, hopefully playoff run, but at least in the immediate future, going into Denver, everybody on that offense, they're one healthy, but 2, their confidence is through the roof.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
most importantly, it's Trevor, right? I think he's struggled. I think we talked about it multiple times on the podcast. Like going into the season, we wanted him to have this mindset going into the league or going into the season and play a little bit different. Like he had a chip on his shoulder, play confidently, because we didn't really see that too much. We've seen it in spurts,
Yeah.
but we didn't see it full time. So I just love to see it. Let's get into 3 Up, 3 Down, sponsored by Clark Spray Foam. This week, obviously, is a blowout, so
Yep.
it's 3 stock ups and then 3 further ups. So let's start with Flash. Who's your first stock up?
Oh man, I mean, the first regular stock up for me would probably be BTJ.
Okay.
So my thing with BTJ is there was some of the deep balls that you wanted to hit there. Don't get me wrong, but I still saw the competitive nature. The body language was still great. Everything was
Right.
still great, even after the drops. And for me, that was important. We watched the game. We were right next to each other.
Yeah.
So like it was his body language was still great in run blocking. And I was really impressed with BTJ going forward. Yeah.
BTJ is a great one, and I will kind of go a little bit out of order, but I had him as a further stock up.
Yeah, sure.
Because
sure.
I know that he in the back of the end zone. I think the defender kind of got in his way. I don't think he fully saw. I do think he stopped running a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that drop wasn't necessarily on him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he saw the ball. And then
Oh no, I'm thinking
the deep one at the end of the game for sure. I thought it could have came up
I
with.
thought he got it. It was 2 of them. I think that he could have came up with.
Well, no, we're talking about the one going towards.
Yeah, the one down the left sideline, guy makes a nice
Yeah,
play
the
on.
Jets-
Okay,
the other
Jets
one,
guy
they
got
got their
his
feet
hand in.
tangled up a little bit
Got
on.
it.
That's what it was.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what it was.
so I mean, really the only play is a little bit of that alligator arms in the end zone.
Yeah.
That you're like, I don't want to see that.
Don't want to see that.
You
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
But he was still good. He was still juiced up, like he was still ready to go.
He's coming along.
As a whole, I think he's been playing much better,
100%,
and his confidence, just like Trevor's, is big.
Yeah.
Brent, who's your first stock up?
I'll give you Antonio Johnson, who
Nice.
just keeps getting better and better.
Every week.
You know,
He's gonna be at. By the way, we're at Strings downtown. Strings Brewery downtown. He's gonna be here tomorrow night signing the surfboard.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I got to be careful going forward. I was telling, I want Antonio Johnson off my team about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
But
gotta be careful.
It's gonna be. I'll own up to it. He's played just as much criticism I'm gonna give him. I thought he was an athlete that couldn't really cover or tackle, and
He's been great.
He's been much better.
well, you guys see the development, and this is where the coaching has really made a difference. I think his development in the course of a season. He was another one of those guys to me that everybody talked about, like the Josh Hines Allen and other players putting on weight last year under Nielsen.
Yeah.
He did too.
Yeah.
And so to get back to his playing weight and where he should be, where he was at Texas A&M, but he's not just making the picks, right? He's got 3 interceptions now, which I think is tied for 15th in the NFL.
Nice.
To me with all the numbers, Daniel. but it was some of the tackles that he made, and when they use the 3 safety set, he's a big player in that. And I think
100%.
Eric Murray really helps a guy like him be better. With Eric Murray back,
You can put him in
guys
the
like
box.
him can go play. So,
Yeah.
I like what Antonio Johnson's doing. And again, all the numbers probably add up the right way right now for him.
I was shocked to see the PFF numbers on him.
Yeah.
He was a higher grade player than Trevor Lawrence this week.
Yeah.
Which
He balled out.
statistics sometimes don't tell the whole story,
Yeah.
but I was very surprised. Who's your first stock up, Dan?
I'll go Cole Van Lannon.
Okay.
My God.
I could put him as way stock up,
Mm-hmm.
but it's tough. You've played 2 not great teams, although I really like Latu from Indy.
Yeah.
But he's played 4 positions, 46 plus snaps at 4 positions now, and that's I wrote a story.
unheard of.
I wrote a story about it for you this week of just how much he's meant to this offense at every position except for center.
Yeah.
And
Who's playing well?
correct. And you had Anton Harrison was out for a little bit. Walker Little's out for a little bit, and it's been negligible difference. And in some cases, he's playing even better than the starters. So that's really cool to see from Van Lannon.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I'll
really great
piggyback
one.
off that. I
Yeah.
thought my first stock up was actually both tackles.
Yeah.
Because coming into this game, the only real players the Jets had were their defensive ends. You got McDonald and, Jermaine Johnson, and then you had their 2 offensive tackles, right?
Yeah.
And then, Breece Hall, which they shut down. But
Yeah.
I think, I think both tackles played very well. You know what I mean? I think that was the one thing that, the offensive line's been pretty consistent throughout this stretch. And I was just happy to see them play well. Who's your second stock up?
Second stock up is gonna go to BJ Green for his first actual sack
That didn't get a flag on.
I love BJ Green. He's a dog. You can tell that every play he's just fighting.
Yeah.
He's just fighting every play, and I love to see it. Whenever he gets his opportunities, he makes the most of them. And he's a great depth player that I'm glad we stuck around with. Undrafted free agent, just a man child. I love to see it.
100%. Him and Strigo have come out of left field.
Strigo.
Sorry, we
Strigo.
corrected this ahead of time.
Yeah.
Danny Strigo.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's they're both playing well.
Yeah.
I hope we get Danny back
100%
sooner than later.
We need him for this week. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie to you.
because the best defenses or teams really in the league have
They
waves
have
of
that
pass
depth.
rushes
Yeah,
and
they
depth.
have that depth.
And hopefully we have that going down the stretch.
Yeah, sure.
Brent, who's your second stock up?
Let's stay on the defensive side. You guys were mentioning the line, but how about Matt Dickerson?
Yeah.
Who,
my God, I
quite
love
frankly,
Matt.
I never really heard of.
Me.
And he's been in the league for 7 years. You go look at his story. We
Yeah.
talked to him today in the locker room. He's a very cool story. First start last week.
Yeah.
And he was big. Really, you noticed him a couple weeks ago on the Trayvon Walker big 4th down play
Yep.
against the Colts.
Yep.
And
He's great
Dickerson
in the
was
run
right
game.
there.
Yeah,
He
he's
helped.
great in the run game.
So, again, this is a great sign of from BJ Green to Strigo to Dickerson to have 3 guys playing the way they are that nobody really knows.
Yep.
And it shows you that this regime is willing to just play the guys that can play.
Yeah.
Because I don't think all 3 of those guys would get shots normally unless a bunch of guys are hurt. And that's not
Agreed.
really the case, although Armstead, in fairness to him,
Yeah.
he's playing with the hand.
Yeah.
And so I think they're trying to do what they did with Trayvon,
yeah.
where they
yeah.
kind of limited snaps even though he's in there. So I think that's a little bit bit to do with it, but they obviously trust him. And I would say stock up on Dickerson, keep an eye on him if he can keep playing well.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I know we're not doing stock downs, but he's, that opposite side of Armstead. I thought Mason Smith was gonna have a great year. I
did too.
I was.
I did too.
I don't know about great year. I just thought he was going to improve and ascend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just be a consistent starter, making plays. Like, I don't think he was going to be anything great, but I thought he would at least be in the mix consistently.
Yeah.
And it feels like the only play he ever makes is a personal foul. So that's the only thing I've seen so far from, or he jumps offside. So
Yeah, and he had a semi-promising end to last season.
He did.
That's why I was
Very
so-
promising.
Yeah, that's why we were so
And even
high up
in-
on him going into this
Even
one.
in training camp, I was like, okay, I know him and Eric are banged up, but like, I thought he played better.
And everyone else under Cohen seems to be like turning water to
Excelling.
wine.
Yeah, right.
And then sadly not been the case this season with Mason Smith.
Yeah. Who's your second stock up?
I'm gonna be lazy here and say Travis Etienne for a very specific reason.
Okay, what's that?
Early on, after the Jaguars hired Liam Cohen, I was looking at what Cohen really likes to do. Specifically in the red zone, the Bucs really utilized their running backs out of the backfield. Rashawn Johnson had Rashad White rather had a lot of receiving touchdowns, and they really loved the running backs out of the screen game, particularly in the red zone.
Yep.
And early on in the season, I thought we saw that. I think it was Cincinnati. The Jaguars had 2 screen running back scores out of the
I
backfield.
think so, yeah.
And then it was just kind of not much after that in the red zone in regards to the running backs. And then this week, you have 3 touchdowns or
Flip
4
that.
touchdowns to running backs, which is the most ever in a game since Next Gen Stats
Really? Wow.
started. Yeah,
I
4.
thought Sproles or somebody would have had that record.
Right.
So 4 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence out of the guys lined up out of the backfield.
Nice.
That's
And
awesome.
that's really good to see. That,
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
Jaguars are scoring with so many people.
Yeah.
It's not really one or two guys.
That's hard
It's
to
across,
kind of scheme against.
Yeah, it is.
backup tight ends, backup running backs,
Yeah.
backup receivers. It's
Yeah.
putting guys in situations and they're making plays for him.
Nice, man.
Love it, man.
I think mine is a guy that I've been asking for more reps, and he's got it. Gardeck, Dennis Gardeck is he's my boy. I've been asking
He's
for
the initial 6'7" guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's the very first 6'7".
I hate you.
But I've been screaming, like, I thought he played way too much off the ball to begin the season, and now that they have him as that kind of really the third edge, right?
Yeah.
I think he got a sack last week, but I think throughout the last few games he's been awesome.
Man.
So yeah, my second one would go to
That
Dennis.
was going to be my third one.
Okay,
So, yeah, we were on the
perfect.
same. I just think he's going to be one of those, just to start the third.
Yeah.
I think that, watching him come off the edge with the fire, watching him do stunts, watching him just do all of the necessary things that when he's plug and play,
Yep.
he's done nothing but show up.
Yep.
And I'm super, super excited for, of course, we're going to talk about it, but I'm super excited to watch him chase Bo Nix around.
100%.
Him and Devin Lloyd are both top 5 in pressures
Wow.
at linebacker.
Wow.
Love that. Love it.
Our whole linebacking core is
Yeah,
awesome.
I love
Very
our
good.
linebacking core.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Brent, who do you got?
My last one, I was debating between this guy and Patrick McCarry because I actually think McCarry, who almost got benched, is playing better football. I don't know what his grades say,
Yeah.
but it's obviously better football.
Yeah,
But I'm going to go with Quentin Morris because I think
Yeah,
he's
I
kind
love
of
that.
Yeah, I was gonna
established.
say that's
my guy.
Flash's guy.
That's
I think he's established himself really as maybe the number 2 guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Hunter Long was down last week inactive, but he could have played as far as we know. I think all 4 tight ends are pretty good right now, and they trust them.
Haven't
But
really
I think
seen Munn
Quentin
too
Morris,
much.
out of I think it was the first pass reception of the game, a little bit
Yeah,
later, another
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So
He
the
leaked out
dirty
the
work
side. Yeah, leaked out Wood on a drag route.
with
Awesome.
Brenton Strange and Morris, keep an eye on that this week. That will be a big one to be able to help block those guys and if they can be effective. So, man, he's come out of nowhere too. Another guy that's come out of nowhere, earned time, and they said, heck, he played good football. Let's keep playing him, even though he might not have been in the initial plan. So
sure.
I think it says a lot about this regime that they're doing that, but it says a lot about the guys that are able to fill in.
100%.
And Quentin Morris is that guy right now.
100%.
That's awesome. What you got, Dan? What's your last one?
Not for. I don't think he's playing better this past week than any other week, but just super consistent guy. And I wrote a story for Action Sports Jacks about the most underrated Jaguar in the offseason. And I think it might still be the case with Ezra Cleveland.
Ezra
Yeah.
Cleveland's a great one. I love Ezra
Love that.
Cleveland.
Love that.
Who's probably the Jaguars' best run blocker. And
Yeah.
the big reason.
Agreed.
Him, you know, I think that he's a guy. You know, no one talks often enough about offensive linemen.
He does the dirty
I think
work.
he's been the Jaguars' best offensive lineman this season, right next to Anton Harrison, and has done really great things to turn around the Jaguars' run game, which has previously struggled.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ezra Cleveland's a great one, and I think I finally gave him enough recognition, or not enough, but I finally gave him some recognition last week, maybe the week before, because he's just kind of like steady Eddie. You know, he's the most consistent guy on that
100%,
offensive line.
100%.
I think he probably deserves. I don't know if I'm not watching the in the weeds too much, but I think he might be a Pro Bowler. Really, like he's. Name me a play where he's really had that bad. Like you said, he's probably his numbers might say.
ESPN win rate has him top 10 in run blocking.
So, there you go.
There you go.
My last guy's gonna be Parker Washington. My guy
course.
Parker. Parker.
Pick your celebration for Parker.
Yeah, we love Parker Washington.
And Newsom.
Yeah. They're lucky that Travis Hunter's not playing. There'd be a dance off every play.
Oh my goodness, it would be crazy.
Dance revolution on the field.
That would be awesome.
But no, Parker, another one. I mean, he didn't get as many snaps this week, but I think trending up would be a good one. Just getting back to healthy because, once we get Strange, we get Myers, we get BTJ, we get Parker, we have ET. Like now we're starting to see once we're healthy, and I've been hoping, praying for the last few months.
Yeah.
Just get healthy because
Yeah.
I know what we can do if we're there full time. So Parker's my last one.
Yeah.
Who's your further up?
Further up. I was gonna go the whole O-line for further up.
Yep.
I think that as a whole, you can just the pockets that Trevor was operating with were so clean.
Zero
sacks.
How many? Is
Those-
there any hits?
2 QB hits.
2 QB hits.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks combined 2
Two.
QB hits.
Wow.
Both against the Jets.
Wow.
They're
Like
they're
that,
playing great.
5 games with no sacks now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
5.
incredible. That's incredible. I think that they're playing such like complementary. Like they're next to each other. You could tell that they're communicating. You could
Yep.
tell that everything that like we want to do, we're able to do because that line has given us such great run blocking and great pass blocking. The pocket has been so clean, bro.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
a
was
great
my
one.
first further stock up.
That's a good one. Brian, who's
Yeah,
your-
that's by the way, that's a good. They're going to need it this week.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
No doubt about it.
100%.
I'm assuming everybody's doing Trevor on this list.
Yeah.
We gave him a game ball,
Yeah,
but yeah,
is
you
that
can
different?
definitely.
You can definitely talk more
Yeah.
about him though.
I mean, listen, I think the most. I've been a Trevor defender, so I don't mind saying it.
Me
but
too.
even
Me
in
too.
the weeds, I really keep pouncing on this. I said to a couple people more quietly because at the time you couldn't say it in front of a microphone. that even that Arizona game, I thought he threw the ball terrific.
Yeah.
Yet he ended up
too.
with 4 turnovers. I
Yeah,
get it.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
But. If you go back and watch the way he threw the football that game,
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good. So I think this has been brewing. I even said I think it was brewing maybe even in the London game when they got throttled by the Rams because they were in Rams territory 8 times in that
Yeah.
game. So this offense, even though they didn't score that game, I think they turned it over on downs like 3 times.
Right.
They were moving the football against a good defense and started to show a little bit of that life. And then, of course, they had the bye to throttle things in a different way. But anyway, Trevor, the one thing I don't think he gets enough credit for, because I think we take this for granted, is when things don't go right, for quarterbacks specifically, they can go in the tank easy and their careers just start to spiral.
Yeah.
Well, he's had multiple chances for that to happen in his career now, starting with one of the worst with Urban Meyer,
Yep.
that a lot of people wouldn't have been able to overcome that singular situation.
Yeah.
And he has. And it was the biggest question we had coming out of college.
Yeah.
How is he going to handle failure? The guy had lost
Yeah.
4 games in his life
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing football in like 7 years, which is unbelievable.
Yep.
But he's handled all that, I think, better than anybody could ever imagine and is still able to overcome. You go back to 22, he throws that pick against Houston and then Denver in London, same throw.
Yep.
Yeah.
He overcomes it with the best football he's ever played for the longest stretch over the next 20 games or so, bleeding into the 23 season. And remember, he was playing kind of like this when he got hurt against Cincinnati on that Monday night. He was dealing.
Yeah.
And then he goes through last year where the offense got really stale. Then he got hurt again. And now this year, new offense. I don't think we should have been surprised by some of the inconsistencies of the offense. Now in hindsight, I think you
No.
can say that
Not
more.
for new schemes.
I think we talked about it a little bit too with
Yeah.
Jamal St. Cyr in the preseason show. Like it's gonna be a
It's gonna be a
bumpy
bit
start.
clunky. It's gonna be a bit clunky.
Trevor's
but
had 4 different offenses.
But people don't
basically,
allow
going
for
through.
it, though. That's the thing. When
Right.
you're going through 3 or 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
you're not saying that. You're like, he's a 50-year guy. He's the #1 pick. He's all
Sure,
this talent. Why isn't he overcome it? Well,
course.
Yeah.
look at Patrick Mahomes this year. Look at
Yeah.
some of these guys this year. They're not overcoming it either.
Yeah.
And they've been in the league for a long
Forever,
time, too.
yeah.
The bottom line is you can't have 4 drops a game,
Yep.
and you can't have an offensive line that's inconsistent. You can't have guys running the wrong routes. And now you've got to play better too. But it's
Yeah.
hard to play your best football as a quarterback when you're worrying about all those other things, even just a little bit. Any doubt in this game, it moves way too fast.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing him trust everything
Yep.
right now and look the way he's playing. So it's I think
exciting.
more the mental side of it is really where I
exciting.
see Trevor. I don't think he gets enough credit for it there.
It's a great thing. We talked about it with James Coleman on the last podcast about how he's had that success handling adversity because it's the first time, right? The last, since he got into the NFL, that's all he's had.
Yeah.
The expectations, to your point, the expectations of him being a generational player amplifies a missed throw. It amplifies a bad decision.
You're watching everything under a microscope.
So if you're looking at it objectively, not knowing that ahead of time, right? Not looking through those glasses, like you see what Trevor is. He's got a ton of talent, but he's an average quarterback most of the time, or previously. Now he's playing much better, but because of the inaccuracies and the bad decisions. But if he cleans a lot of that stuff up and doesn't have to deal with the internal stuff, I think we're good.
I think that what we take for granted, and I am noticing this more and more as we go on, is you remember when we were talking about the difference between him and Joe Burrow is that fire?
Yeah.
I think that even keel mindset is very important when we're talking about going into something like this game. What
Yeah.
we're talking about pretty much for the AFC South.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you win this game, you're pretty much good.
Right.
Nothing is etched in stone, of course, but this is a big game going forward. If we had somebody who was kind of over the top a little bit, they may be in over their heads, but the way that he's able to lock in and kind of is just real chill, real smooth kind of going into it, I can kind of start to appreciate that a little bit more.
Well, that's Liam Cohen, right? That's
Yeah.
where Trevor marries Liam Cohen, and you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
You get the
100%.
fire from Liam Cohen, and that bleeds into Trevor's
And I
game.
think that the issue with Doug is that Doug
He didn't have any of that.
He didn't have the fire that Liam has,
No.
and then Trevor didn't have that fire either. So both of them are down here, kind of trying to
Yeah.
make it all happen. So
Yeah.
Well, you look at this picture right now in the playoffs, too. And again, this is just this year. This doesn't mean you wouldn't want these other quarterbacks.
Of course.
But those fiery guys. Baker Mayfield went from MVP to now one of the worst quarterbacks the last few weeks in the
Right,
NFL.
right.
So you see the ups and downs. Burrow, who knows what's going on with Burrow
He
right
might be
now.
out of
Right.
Cincinnati.
And I know
he
he's
doesn't
been
even
hurt.
love it anymore
but,
right now.
But
Yeah.
there's some weird stuff going on there. Take a look at the even keel guys. Justin Herbert, even keel
Sam
guy.
Darnold.
Right there keeps winning. Sam Darnold keeps winning. And
Matt
so
Stafford.
there's something to be said for the even keel guys.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
As
There
well
is.
at
I'm-
that position.
I'm really mellow and nonchalant, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the nonchalantness.
I'm not usually. I
Well,
get a little
Me
more
neither.
fiery.
Me neither. I can't.
And
I can't
there's
do it.
also something to be said about not letting really stressful situations affect you. You
Yeah,
were talking
shake you,
about, it could have been really easy for Trevor to mentally go downhill, and part of that might be his even keeled,
Yeah, absolutely,
nonchalant, just focusing on the moment and not letting things get too big for you. I'm a big Rays fan, and he reminds me a lot of Evan Longoria, who really had that approach in baseball of focus on the now, don't let your emotions get too high. And it certainly, he talked a lot about it, and especially with how much sports psychology helped him, and that's something that I think certainly can help a player. It also can help you to have the super high emotions and stuff,
Yeah,
and everybody loves that.
Yeah.
But I think
It sells tickets.
keeping things calm can certainly help you, and I think that's something that's helping him and the Jaguars right now.
And he's the ultimate face of a franchise.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about that.
There's no
I mean,
doubt
he
about
handles all that so well.
Yeah.
So as long as he's playing well, and he loves this, he doesn't love the spotlight per se. Like, he doesn't need the spotlight, but he's been in it so long
He
in his
understands
career.
it.
Yeah,
he's
he's used to
this is a more familiar spot for him right now when everybody's talking about him playing well than when everybody's talking about him not playing well.
right.
He hasn't had a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I said this in 22 and 23. He's very comfortable in this arena. where he knows how to handle people patting him on the back and he doesn't get inflated by it.
Right.
Because that's more normal for him through most of his life than people throwing darts at him.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think this is a very comfortable spot. I think he's a good front runner, and we'll see if he can keep it going, right? I mean, listen, if they don't play well against Denver, people will start taking the other side
we'll
right
go the
again.
opposite
Right?
way.
So,
Dan, who's your further up?
Oh, we're still doing that.
I know. We're
Sorry,
we're
we went
probably
on into it.
Yeah, we're good.
we
We're
can
good.
talk about
Sorry.
Trevor for 45
Yeah,
minutes. right?
100%.
Trevor's one of them, but you mentioned Antonio Johnson, and I wanted to go back to that. You were talking about his PFF grades.
Yeah.
I try not to use PFF grades too much, mainly because I don't know the system behind it, and
Yep.
it's really hard for me to understand what exactly that means. But I do have some stats from Next Gen Stats. 55% completion rate, that's really solid. He is second in the NFL among defensive backs, qualifying defensive backs, with a 28.4 NFL rating.
Okay.
Wow.
For context, if you spike the ball, it's 39.7.
Oh.
Which is always stupid to me.
Yeah.
Like, why is it 39.7 if you spike the ball? You shouldn't be. If you actually threw the ball, it shouldn't be worse.
Interception.
I know, but it shouldn't be worse.
That's the only way it can get
Zero
worse.
should be it.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
can't they
should
make
be.
this easy for us?
Yeah, right.
And
Zero should be
I
the.
know.
And then your
well, this is
height-
why I don't get
Why
too.
is 39 0?
Well,
This
the
is why I
top
don't
is
get too much in the weeds
158.3.
sometimes with these
See,
numbers.
but that doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
Who did this?
Yeah, so it's and I don't use for quarterbacks. I don't use NFL rating a whole lot, just because touchdowns outweigh it so much.
Yeah.
That like Trevor has rushing touchdowns, but he has a lot of them.
Yeah.
And those don't count. And then he's got an 85 rating, and then it's like, okay, but if he had 3 passing touchdowns instead of 3 rushing touchdowns, it would be like 96.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
needs to be adjusted. Yeah.
So EPA and QBR, NFL, ESPN stat are probably better metrics. But for a defensive back, it also can be a little misleading, because if you allow a touchdown, you only allowed one play on that drive, say, but it just happens to be the
right.
touchdown.
Yeah,
It's like you get killed and you allowed a 2-yard pass.
that.
So it's kind of that. But looking at his coverage EPA allowed from Next Gen Stats, he's 6th among defensive backs. He's got 3 interceptions, 0 touchdowns allowed, and for a guy who really started off his career super well towards the tail end of his rookie season, and then we kind of got away from that. You mentioned the putting on weight and how much that maybe affected him negatively. And this season he's come back, and really, the Jaguars didn't see any drop off with Eric Murray out.
He's been flying around.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
think
flying
the
around.
whole safety room, and I was also kind of crying for Rayon Lane, who's gotten more snaps,
Yes,
recently, and I wouldn't mind playing him more.
No.
But I think the whole safety room between him, Dewey and Eric Murray really came out hot in the season.
Very hot.
In the safety room. So yeah, I like our unit. I'm not, I don't think we have the most talent in our secondary per se.
Yeah.
I think we're good enough.
I think that they play to. I think they play above where kind of people have them.
Yeah.
Especially Buster Brown. That who's gonna if we get into. I know we.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap on maybe the further ups.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Let's.
But yeah, I think just the last one for me on the further ups would be ETN. I think just he's never missed a stock up for us.
He's never missed a stop. No.
He's
The most
earned himself a
consistent player.
contract.
Yeah.
Maybe with us. He might have played himself into a bigger deal. I'm not sure yet.
Excuse me.
Well, we got a lot of guys to pay.
I understand that.
We got
but
a lot of guys to pay.
If we're discussing levels of like priority, he should be at least top 2. Like what?
Would you?
It's
Would
gotta
you,
be
would
Myers,
you
right?
spend the money over
And
Devin?
that's
Lloyd?
Myers top 1.
Yeah.
Myers might get
That's
done
what I'm
sooner
saying.
than later.
Myers might get done
Before the
faster,
season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before the season ends.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it has to be ETN next.
Over Trayvon?
Yes, especially with
Really?
the depth that we have at like edge right now. We have depth in our D line. Do we have that much depth in our running back?
I don't know. I mean, you were on the Tootin bandwagon.
I am. I'm still on the Tootin bandwagon, 100%. But at the end of the day, like if we're talking about a
What's more
consistent
important?
every down back, like now,
What's more important, a good defensive end or a good running back? Maybe in
running
Liam
back. I'm gonna go running back just off of the face of the franchise right now. Trevor needs ETN.
I don't disagree with you. I think we should re-sign him.
Yeah.
But to what point do we re-sign him? I think he's playing himself.
as far as contract
No one's
talks
mentioned
go,
Lloyd.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, and
Well, this is
Devin
my
Lloyd
po-
too. Devin Lloyd was my immediate third, but
and at the end of the year too. I mean, I know we're going off topic. We'll get back on it.
Sure,
But
yeah, 100%.
I know even left tackle with Cole Van Landen, and we want to re-sign him.
Of
You got
course.
Walker Little. That's his contract is going to double next
Walker
season.
Little
He's
has to
making
go.
Well, this is
Sorry,
my point.
excuse me. I'm speaking candidly, but Walker Little is not he's not like one of those guys where I'm super eager to re-sign him. I'm not gonna.
Well, he's not a free.
He's already under contract.
Yeah, he's under contract. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's
he'll be a
right.
trade or cut candidate.
Gotcha.
But there's too many guys that it'll be a fun conversation in the offseason.
Well, the priority is going to be, in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be Myers, ETN, Cole Van Landen, and Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker probably in the mix, but because of the injuries, they might be able to hold off another year and have some options on how they want to
Franchise
treat
or
that
something,
deal.
yeah.
And he might want the same too, because he could go perform really well next year
He's been
healthy
injured so
and then
much.
make
Yeah.
so much money. He's really been healthy his whole career until this year.
Yeah.
But this year's definitely been disjointed with some of the injuries.
That's fair.
But so would you sign him now, get a deal?
Yeah.
Or does he say, no, I'm going to play it out and try to maximize?
That's
We'll
fair.
see.
Yeah,
like
because
him
he's
to
at the
play it
low
out.
point right now in the last 2 seasons, 3
Yeah,
seasons.
I would like
for
him to play it out.
Yeah.
That was 3 Up, 3 Down, sponsored by us. Clark Spray Foam. Give us a call. We foam it all. 904-885-9983. We're here. We got the sticker on the board. We're doing it. Let's freaking go. All right? Duval.
So let's go into our favorite subject right now, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
We got a huge game coming
I'm
up.
juiced.
So this is for the AFC South. This is make
the
no
game.
mistake about it.
Yeah.
This is a title game.
Yeah.
AFC South title game this week.
Yeah.
Because you can't count on the Chargers beating Houston.
I got the Raiders beating Houston.
You're wild. That's not happening.
Aren't the
I got
Chargers
the
6-1, 7-1 in the last?
Yeah,
seven or
they've
eight?
been
They are.
hot since really we
Since
beat
we
them?
beat
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and they're 7-2 in the conference.
And
yeah,
kudos to Herbert because that O-line is.
yeah,
Yeah,
and,
well,
and
terrible.
Harbaugh.
And he has a
Yeah.
broken hand.
Yeah. So I don't listen. We have to win out. We have to win this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's with the Broncos specifically. Let's go head-to-head matchups.
Sure.
Because I think this is where it gets.
This
fun.
is where it's fun, yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna go kind of through position here, and we'll also talk a little bit about the opposite matchup, right?
Yeah.
So, coaching staff. You got Sean Payton, Vance Joseph. I don't even really know who. I mean, their offense coordinator, I guess, technically is Sean Payton.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
versus Liam Cohen, Coach Camp. How do we all kind of see that matchup going?
I like us in that situation just because we still have this bit of unpredictability almost as well.
Okay.
I think with Sean Payton, you kind of see what he does regularly, what he's been doing over the years, like what he likes to do with Bo Nix and like things like that. So I think Coach Camp will be able to dial up some stuff to where he's not going to be ready for it.
Gotcha.
I do like the mug look where we put all of our linebackers on the line and then we drop back into coverage. I want to see some of that. I want to see the mug look and then we come after him. I think that there is so many different ways that Camp will dial that up that I like our odds in that.
Yeah. Brent.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're going on a board and you're giving the edge to Sean Payton and Joseph. I mean, they've been
Sure,
around
yeah,
for a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
They've been in these
yeah.
situations. They're at home.
Yep.
They're coming off a very well schemed game as well, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of reinvented themselves from everything I've read on what Denver did this week offensively compared to what they've been doing
Mm-hmm.
to break some tendencies. Now, there's a lot of confidence in Liam Cohen and Campanile and the staff. They've earned that.
Yeah.
But they're still new in all this.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
when
yeah,
is
yeah.
the new going? The new hasn't really caught up to this team. You
Well,
know,
it-
I mean,
that's more so my point.
I disagree a little bit. I feel like, well, it depends on how you mean that, because I feel like there was a stretch during the middle of the season so far where we were kind of being too predictable. I felt like on defense and on offense,
Yeah.
and then Liam came out. I think it was even the Raiders game when we had to because we were playing with Tim Jones, and
Yeah,
No,
and
he
Trammell.
came. He played LeQuint at fullback. Like he was in his bag trying to come up with something. I think that kind of sparked the creativity in him.
well, you said it. I mean, they had to dial some things back because of injuries at that point,
Yeah.
both on offense and defense. But they also just weren't playing well in
Right.
that stretch,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So, I just don't think this moment has been too big for them.
No.
I don't feel like it will be. I think they're very confident.
They'll be
I
ready to
like,
play.
They'll be ready to play. You feel like that's going to happen. You feel like they'll be physical. I feel like the trenches will play better than they did against the Jets, and I think they
Hopefully
were
they need
okay.
to.
But at the same time, if you're asking for a head-to-head,
Yeah.
Sean Payton's won a Super Bowl, and he's been around for a while, and I don't really like him, to be honest with you, that much, but he's very good.
Yeah.
So
You have to give the edge.
and Vance Joseph has more toys to use on defense than even this one does.
And he's been
I mean, they got Patrick Surtain, who's the reigning defensive player of the year, and he might not
Exactly.
even be their best defender.
Right. Yeah.
So, they listen. I mean, I would give the nod to those guys, but not by a wide margin.
No, not at
which
all.
is good.
It's not like they're outclassed.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with Brent. It's hard not to, especially with what Vance Joseph is doing right now with Denver's defense. The Jags defense is playing really, really well, especially compared to where they came from last season.
Yeah.
Being, basically the worst in every statistic you
With
can find.
really not that many new players
No.
on either side of the ball.
Just lost a little weight and added a coach.
playing fast.
Just a little faster. That's
Yeah.
all.
Ascension of Devin Lloyd in the middle. But yeah, it's hard not to give it to the coaching staff.
Yeah,
for
I
Denver.
think I give it to Denver. However, I do think Liam Cohen's maybe not experience or maybe not even schematically, but I think his motivation, which is the biggest edge.
Yeah.
And this is we
That's
talked
where I'm
about last
going
week.
to.
I'll talk about it again. Like
Yep.
I was questioning. There's so many times where offensive coordinator gets a head coaching job, and you're like, cool, he can call plays. Can you do 90% other stuff?
Of the
that
other
needs
stuff,
to do?
10% of his calling plays.
And he's
the rest of it's
exceeded my
defense.
expectations, and I think these guys will be. If there is an edge in this game where I would give it to Liam Cohen, it's the motivation.
Yeah.
I think
It's
he'll
the mental
have.
game. Yeah.
I think him and Coach Campbell will get both sides of the ball very motivated.
But like
to
that,
play
I
this
think
game.
that's why I'm giving us the edge personally. Like
Yeah.
the play calling and things like that. But they're pissed off. Like they play pissed off. They're gonna coach pissed off, and I think that when we go into this Denver game, they're gonna say, "Hey, listen, this is for the division.
Yep.
This is for our spot in the playoff. We clinch if we win this,
But
and I
more-
think that I just think once again, just to what you're saying, the
Yeah.
motivational factor is just way higher.
Yeah,
it's
and-
way higher.
And we can talk about it too. The national media, Liam Cohen said it, and we all kind of felt it ahead of time. But I feel like this week they're pouring gas. They're digging themselves
Yeah.
a deep hole right now.
Yeah.
They're pouring a lot of gas on the fire. I know Liam Cohen was saying, "Hey, we're playing stuff inside the facility," or what people are saying. I felt even though we just had our biggest blowout of the season, they're talking more shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that as much. I
No?
get what you're saying. I've seen some of it. Obviously, the Richard
I feel like it's
Sherman
been
stuff,
more.
right? And then you get some other national folks. But
Yeah.
I would say this: I have seen more national coverage of the Jacksonville Jaguars
Positive?
this week than I've seen. Oh yeah, I mean,
No,
go
no,
look
there's
at
a lot
Orlovsky
of
talking
positive.
about
Yeah.
Trevor,
The
right?
players
Go-
and
maybe
stuff
it's just
like that,
ESPN pushing a lot of that stuff out. You're still not going to get a ton of coverage like
Yeah.
around their 1 hour wheel of coverage.
Sure.
But I think they're pushing more stuff out. Some of these guys I don't even hear, I've never even heard of, but like they're showing up on my timeline
Yeah.
that they're talking about some of the metrics and things like that. It's hard to ignore the stats of the Jags right now. They're averaging 32.9 since the bye week,
Yeah.
so you can't ignore it. So I do think they're getting some praise, maybe not to the level of other teams, but you're always going to have the Shermans and other people too that are probably going to hate, and that's just the world we live in, right? To get clicks and everything else. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think this, though. I do think they're talking about it more. I don't think it's been, I don't think as positive. I mean, I do think they've shown some light, but we've seen Puka Nacua just came out today, maybe, said Jags overrated. I know they mopped us.
He probably
that
said
come
that
up?
because of that.
Yeah.
Why did that come
Yeah, I
up?
don't know what Puka Nacua is doing. It's like looked like
was on
some
a
younger
stream.
person
He was on a stream.
Yeah,
He was on a
Aiden
stream
Ross
with Aiden
and-
Ross and some other guy.
And he also
that.
said he also like hammered the refs, which made headlines too.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
saw that.
right?
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
yeah, somebody's got to get a hold of Puka.
Yeah, somebody's got to take him back home.
Yeah, but there's
get
that. Richard Sherman's comments, we kind of went through that on Twitter too. Colin Cowherd went through this whole thing where it was like 10 minutes on Ben Johnson and the Bears and Caleb Williams, and you could literally every single time they said Bears, you could swap it with Jaguars. Every time he said Ben Johnson, you could swap it with Liam Cohen. Every time he said Caleb Williams, you could say
Probably
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he has Ben Johnson on the show. I think it's kind of like what Sean Payton was before when he came on the show so many times. So maybe that's why he's giving him
Probably
some
a little
favor. And kudos to Ben Johnson. Like I think we all kind of wanted him first,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
no,
done a
and
good
then
job.
got
he was
Liam.
definitely one of the guys
But
that we were talking
I'm
about.
very happy with Liam Cohen.
100%
So
happy with Liam.
we'll leave it on that.
Yeah.
We'll go kind of a little bit more rapid fire here
Sure.
though. Quarterback.
I got us. I got Jags quarterback.
Well, yeah, I mean, he should have it too, because he's had more experience in these kind of moments. He's playing, even though Bo Nick's playing pretty well the last few weeks.
playing great.
Trevor's even playing better.
Yeah.
Because
He
he's
still
playing
put
some of
the
the best
ball-
quarterback in the NFL. He's in that category right now for
I'm
Trevor.
not a fan. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix.
Bo?
I'm not gonna lie.
I was higher on him coming out of the draft than most people. So
Especially after this last game. I
Before the
feel like
last
he
few
did it-
weeks, I would have said they were probably.
Yeah.
But recently, recently probably Trevor.
By the way,
Yeah.
Trevor's 26, just turned 26. Bo Nix is 25.
Yeah.
Trevor's been in the league for 5 years. Bo
Wow.
Nick's been in the league for 2.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That
Yeah.
is insane.
if we're talking about stats, by the way, I did see something. I brought something. So
Okay, hit me.
they did lead, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. They led the league in 3 and outs, I believe. The Broncos offense for half the season so far. And then, or maybe like 60-70%, and then they started getting
They
hot
started
more recently.
ramping it
I
up.
mean, we just played the Jets and blew them out. I mean, you can't do this for every team, but it was 13-11 when they played them.
Yeah, yeah.
There was
that was a little different. I mean,
yeah.
because Williams played in that game, I
Right.
think, and so did Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
But it does show that I think there is some cracks, and we'll go through the list here. I think there's some cracks in their game.
Very much so cracks. And
Well-
there's cracks in Bo Nix. Yeah, I feel like he puts the ball in a lot of turnover-worthy situations.
Yeah.
I think that there was maybe 2 or 3 picks that should have happened in that Green Bay game that did not, that they just
Yep.
dropped the ball on.
Yep.
And I think that he's going to do that against us.
I do think so. I think
you
we're
know,
going
and
to
I
get some
think that we're
takeaways.
gonna go get those takeaways. I do think that the Green Bay Packers, like I said, if Christian Watson probably wouldn't have got hurt, I think they lose that game.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just here on saying that I think that Bo Nix will turn the ball over, and I think we will be okay.
I'd
So
be
I'm
nervous
on-
about the run, the legs of Knicks. I think that's
yeah,
going
containing,
to
he's
that-
kind of like old school Russell Wilson, I would
Yeah,
say.
a little
like
bit, a little bit.
you need to contain him. He's not like a crazy runner like a Lamar or anything, but you
He
need to
can't
keep.
extend the play.
There's a lot like Trevor. I mean, Trevor
Well,
can get out of there too. So
Both
in
teams
that
are
sense.
very similar.
Yeah,
They are
Like,
very similar,
very similar
in a lot of
Very
ways.
similar.
Like I think they have a better offensive line, better defensive line than us on paper,
On
and
paper.
probably statistically too. But I think in general, I think we kind of mimic ourselves, or both teams mimic each other.
Yeah.
I have Trevor though.
The one other thing on Trevor here right now that I think the stat people are not talking enough about is the average attempt. 8.5, 8.2, 8.1,
checkdowns.
10.5
Yeah.
the
It's
last
been-
4 weeks. The last 4
Yikes.
weeks have been
All over
downfield.
10.
There's only 4 guys in the league that are averaging over 8.
Yep.
So that 8 number is a big number.
Right. Wow.
He had 10.5 this past week. So to me,
a good
that
one.
shows you the downfield passing game, everything else. But that's a huge number. Maybe a bigger number than the completion percentage, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But it feels like he's played way better than a 60% passer the
Yeah,
last few
exactly.
weeks.
It's almost
But
back to where it
because
was
of that.
last season.
Yeah.
It's almost caught up to where it was last season, where
Yeah.
it was a lot of downfield throwing.
Well, to kind of piggyback off that or transition from that, the reason I feel like he's able to throw the ball down the field is because of the running back situation. I think
100%.
teams are selling out first the run, and
You
now
gotta
they're
stop
playing a
ETN.
little bit less zone and more filling the box and playing more single high and man coverage. How do you see the running back? If it looks like RJ Harvey did practice.
He
today.
did.
He practiced in
He
full.
practiced
So,
in full
so
today,
what do you
yep.
think about the both rooms now that we have two and out?
I like us. I mean, with 2 and out, it does. But we did just sign DJ Dallas. Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be more in the return
Kick,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, kick return. But maybe he gets a couple snaps. Maybe he gets a couple. But I don't know. I think I still like our running back room. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you. I like our running back room a little bit better.
ETN's better than anybody they
Yeah,
have.
that's what I'm saying. Like ETN is.
They do have some good depth.
I like RJ
think
Harvey.
I like Harvey. They got a couple other guys too behind him that aren't bad. They're all kind of similar. LaQuint Allen and ETN do it for me.
Yeah.
What about you
Well,
guys?
listen, I think they got to run the ball better. The bottom line is ETN played well in the passing game.
Yeah.
They had a couple of nice runs early in the Jets game. They did not run the ball against the Titans well. They need to run the ball in this game. They have to be able to
have to,
move
I
it.
agree,
They have
yeah.
third downs are going to be huge in my opinion.
Yeah,
so that
keep
manageable
drives.
distance and keep whoever
Yeah.
wins third down, I guarantee you wins the game.
Or time possession. Time possession.
Well, and that will
Yeah.
factor into that. But
Yeah.
so I think ETN and the running game, not just the passing game of ETN, has to be a lot better than it's been in
Agreed.
recent weeks
Yeah.
for them to win this football game. One other note, I think it's an interesting note, is I wonder how much he'll be fired up, ETN. And I don't know if he even knows this or cares about it, but RJ Harvey's a guy the Jags tried to draft. I mean, they were going to go
Yeah.
draft. And that would mean they were going to replace ETN with him. Most
Exactly.
likely if you pick him in the second round or
Yeah.
early third round. And so there's an interesting correlation right there.
That is pretty
that
interesting,
Denver
yeah.
picked him at number 60 or something, about
Yeah.
10 picks before the Jags.
That's
So
fun. Yeah.
that's a fun little thing in this
Yeah.
game for probably the Jags management side,
Mm-hmm.
but also maybe even ETN. And you
Yeah.
almost wonder if Cohen
Oh, he
lights that
will.
fire a
I
little
think
bit.
he will.
Hey, did you know?
It's a good time to tell him if he doesn't
Yeah,
know.
100%.
We talked about ETN out of the backfield, and I do want to mention how much Sean Payton loves targeting running backs.
Yeah.
And for a little bit, the Jaguars struggled in the quick game on defense. So I'm curious if that's something that Sean Payton looks to use running backs more in the past game against the Jaguars. It has hurt them in the past a little bit, so that's something to think of. But I think it's got to be ETN.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the workload will be for LaQuint Allen.
I think-
that'll be fun.
I think LaQuint gets his
gets
first touchdown this week.
Yeah, I think he gets a decent amount. I do think, to your point about backs getting passes out of the backfield for Sean Payton, most important thing this week, or at least a major key to the game, is tackling. Like, we need to wrap up. Like, I think we're gonna because Bo Nix also can throw the ball. Like, he gets a lot of flack for saying, hey, he's like a check down merchant, but like, he's throwing the ball very well down the field.
100%.
And I think they might take that away. And I think if we do allow him to check it down, guys like Foye, Devin, they got to be flying around and really wrapping up these guys.
Keep in mind, I got the number 1 and number 2 rush defense in the NFL in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which
I think
they're
both
gonna
teams
air it
want to be
out.
able to run the ball, but it might be
Yeah.
really hard to run the
Yeah,
ball.
it might be really
Which is why I said pick the over in this game, because I think we're gonna air it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go Jags running back. Tight end position, really a fun one because my guy Evan Ingram, who I
I
love,
love Evan Ingram.
But now you got Brent- he's gotta
We
deal
were
with
really
Brent-
upset when he was gone. I'm not gonna lie, we were
but,
really upset.
But now he's got to deal
Um,
with a better Brenton Strange
Yes.
and a younger Brenton
Yes.
Strange.
I do like us specifically because of run blocking. I think that one of the knocks on Evan Ingram was he was not that great in the run blocking game, and I think that is the edge that I think we have over that.
I think they played Troutman. I could be wrong, but it's when I'm watching games back,
Yeah.
I felt like he played more than Evan did.
Gotcha.
And I don't know necessarily if that's true or not, but I don't think either one are as big of a factor as Brenton Strange. Brent, what do you
Yeah,
think?
well, here's the deal. I think both teams are similar in the way you don't really know who's going to get the workload.
Yeah.
From a receiver standpoint, running back standpoint, in terms of the pass game,
Yeah.
and then also on the tight end. So I've actually got this sneaky suspicion that Evan's going to have a
Good game.
highly targeted game
Yeah, I think
against
he's
his
gonna
old
be
team.
targeted too.
But I also think Brenton could too.
Me too.
And Brenton had kind of a quiet game
Last
on
game.
Sunday.
Yep.
I feel
like
like
two
you could
catches,
look
maybe.
up and the leading pass catchers in this game might be both tight ends. That's
I
a bold
get you.
prediction on my part.
No,
How
that's a
about
good
I
one.
like that.
I like that.
I,
Dan.
I'd take that over Troy Franklin. As long as the Jags don't. Troy Franklin coming out of Oregon was like super deep threat. So you got to be hopeful.
Evan's
that-
about 8.8 a catch, so that's all right.
Yeah. So Evan Ingram's much more of a short target guy, but that's also the guys that have beaten the Jaguars.
Yeah.
We've struggled with tight ends throughout this year.
They've certainly gotten better since Oakland, if I can recall. I know Trey McBride beat him early.
McBride had a good first quarter, then they did a nice
Yeah.
job on him.
So hopefully it's more of that situation. He's been the best tight end in football.
And they did a
this
nice
year.
job on Tyler Ward.
That's
Of
true,
course,
too.
they lost their quarterbacks.
That's something to
Yeah,
think
that
about.
did
So, this is another area that Liam Cohen and Anthony Campanelli's defense has gotten a lot better this season with, as they struggled early on against tight ends and have really done a nice job in recent weeks.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll take us. And I'm gonna put a asterisk on the tight end position because I also think this week, if he's healthy, I think they're gonna play Walker Little at jumbo tight end quite a bit. That's my kind of bold prediction, or at least
Not
what
mad at that.
I'm
Go ahead and
thinking.
let him report as eligible.
Well, listen, he's what has he done well this year?
Run block.
Run block, right? We need that, and I think Denver rushes 5 a ton.
Yep,
All
all
right.
the time, pretty much.
And they basically do that to get one-on-one an advantage,
Yeah.
And I don't think our offensive line is super talented and can handle that full-time, kind of like where we struggled against Houston a little bit. So I think what we do is we put Walker Little out there, get kind of the numbers advantage against them, helps us in the run game and kind of keeping drives alive, but also kind of you could play action off that too, and I that's what I see.
Jags have been running jumbo a lot
Yeah.
more recently.
100%.
And I don't think Walker Little, I think Liam Cohen knows how to use these guys, and I think even though he's probably going to give the nod to Cole Van Lanen for the starting job at left tackle. I think he's giving a wink to Walker Little this week. Like, hey, if you're ready, we got a spot for you.
Yeah, and that will breed some competition right there. But it's still a tough matchup for the Jags offensive line. It's really not about how the offensive line will play. It's more about what they're going against, and that's where Denver has an advantage, I think. But it's basically more the interior than I think even the exterior or the edges. So it's certainly a matchup to watch. But if I was Liam, you want to get people fired up, I'd be showing them the Seattle game, the Rams game, the Houston game, the second one, and
going to be key.
He would be key,
100%.
but I would show that offensive line like you can't play like that because against those kind of lines, the offensive line has just been okay.
Yeah.
Against okay offensive lines, they've been very good. Yeah. I'm sorry, defensive lines. But they've got to. They got to come play their best game.
I just thought about it. I'll have to check stunt rates for Denver and see where they're at because that's something that the Rams and Seahawks are both like top 3.
Yeah.
And that was something that really beat up the Jaguars. I don't think they run as much Vance Joseph, but that'd be something to keep an eye on because that's really hurt the Jags in those couple of games.
I agree. So let's go real rapid fire on the rest of this list, and then we'll get to predictions, guys. So wide receiver group, who do you got?
Jags.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags right now. I think they're hotter.
Yeah.
But they're very similar groups.
Cortland Sutton's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I think if we're on Myers, Parker, BT, I think talent-wise we outweigh them by a ton.
Yep.
I don't know about a ton.
Cortland's really good.
Yeah, Sutton's
Listen,
good.
if BTJ gets anywhere close to where he was last year, we should win that almost every week.
Yeah.
Going forward, offensive line. I have Denver. I think they have a really good offensive line.
I have Denver.
It's, you got to give them the nod.
Yeah, this is more about the matchup, again, like I was saying. So it's not necessarily if you just took them 5 guys and they're 5, maybe you could make a case for the Jags. It's really who you're going against.
Right.
And that's a more formidable front than the Jags have, again, basically because of the interior defense.
Yeah, Denver's third in pressure rate allowed, first in sack rate allowed. Garrett Bowles leads all tackles in pressure rate allowed.
Nice.
It's hard not to give the nod to Denver when they're doing stuff like that.
I feel you. Defensive line, I think it's a very similar conversation.
Yeah. I'm going to give the nod.
I'm going to give it to Denver as well.
Denver.
Yeah, I don't think it can go another way. They got 58 sacks.
Yeah. I will say this. When it comes to linebackers, even though they have Greenlaw, listen, I think Devin Lloyd, Foye, and Gardeck. I
give us
us.
linebackers.
And I think that's where our pressure's coming from this week.
I
don't think it's going to be from Josh Hines Allen or Trayvon as much. I think it's going to be up the middle with Foye or Devin.
Yep.
A lot of talk right now about Nick Benito. He's got 67 pressures, tied for 4th with Josh Hines Allen.
Yep.
But Zach Allen is not getting enough talk. He leads defensive tackles in pressures right now.
And Franklin Myers is a good player too.
Jonathan Cooper has 43 pressures.
Cooper's very good.
Yeah.
I don't want linebacker-wise, I don't mind taking the Jags because I think they're more playmaking linebackers, and they've proven to be that this year, and they're going to have to. I think the stat that nobody's talking about in this game, the one area where the Jags are a lot better than the Broncos, turnover ratio. Jags are plus 12 better than the Broncos. I think they're minus 2 and the Jags are plus 10 on the year.
Nice.
And so that, I mean, we know that's what games come down to, right?
Exactly.
So that's an advantage. Will it happen this Sunday? Who knows? But that's an area they've just been better at.
And the Jags have gotten back to the turnovers on defense.
Exactly.
They went away from it a little
They
bit.
did, yeah.
And now the last 3 games, they've had multiple turnovers in each game.
Yeah, it's similar to 22 where we relied on. I do think we're a better defensive team than 22, but I'm just saying where we kind of relied on taking the ball away. Last couple secondary, who are we giving it to?
I think just because of Surtain, I think you got to give it to
Ufunga's a good player too. I was really wanting him to be a safety for us in free agency, so I got to give it to them.
Jags, by the way, though, a lot of depth there. Like they've got so many guys playing well that you can shuffle in and out. So I mean, it's not like it's a bad secondary.
No.
We know it's playing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
They're playing above. Some of their guys too are playing above maybe their pedigree or playing above their name.
Absolutely.
We talked about Johnson. Jarian Jones is playing
Buster Brown.
fantastic.
I mean,
catch
if
was wild.
Jordan Lewis could have a really big week.
Yeah,
You know,
Jordan's
I
been a little bit quiet
I think
ever
he
since
could
he
have a
came
big
back.
week.
So yeah, could have a big week.
special teams. We'll end it on the special teams for the positions.
I got us.
Yeah, that's where I think the Jags do
Yeah,
have
I
an
got us.
advantage.
I think Denver's got an underrated group, though.
They're not
Probably.
bad.
They're not bad.
They're
I
not
just think
bad,
we're
but the
really
Jags have all pros and
Yeah.
pro bowlers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And they got a hot kicker. And like when we were doing the stock way up,
Yeah.
Cam Little would have been on my list
That's
because I think he's the most underrated story maybe of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
People are taking him for granted. He's made like 39 kicks in a row, counting
Said he
extra
struggles,
points.
People were talking about getting rid of him.
And well, yeah, but that's the key. Like this is where I think you're going to point back to the year. You're going to say, look what Liam Cohen did there. And James Gladstone.
Yep.
They could have done what a lot of teams would do and say, hey, we need to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
They vocally said, we think this guy's great, and he's going to kick his way out of it. And look what he's done since the bye week. And by the way, he might kick it 80 yards up at Mile High.
That would be awesome. I'd love to see that because I do think it's going to come down to
And Parker Washington's a real weapon too. Like that's the thing.
Agreed.
Yep.
He's healthy, and he's good in that
Don't
department.
punt to that boy.
Raywan Lane at gunner.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Lane's been really good.
And Yasir Abdullah's played well too on special
Yeah,
teams.
He's
100%.
smacked him in Ventrell too at that. Let's go to predictions.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up on this. So we do an offensive player, a defensive player of the game, and a score prediction.
Yeah.
So Flash, I'm gonna have you go first.
Sure. So my offensive player will be the man that I'm wearing today, Mr. 1-6, the prince that was promised, Trevor Lawrence. I think he outplays Bo Nix. My defensive player is gonna be, let's go Gardeck. Let's go Gardeck. I'm
Okay.
full in on Gardeck right now, and then my score prediction will be 23-20 Jags.
Nice. Okay.
Oof. Okay, I'm going to go. The guy I think that needs to make a play or two in this game that is going to be a big moment is Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
I think he has to play, whether it's beating Surtain
think he
or
has
the
the
other
matchup.
guy, right?
I think-
Maybe.
I think-
Well, it depends what Surtain does.
I think they'll put him on Myers.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if they put him on anybody. But when he gets his ops, they've got to connect. And I think if they don't connect on it doesn't have to be a 70-yard play, but in a big situation sometime in this game,
End of the
there's
game.
going to be a spot where they need to connect, and it might be a critical third down or it might be something else. And I think if they make that play, I think they win. If they don't make that play, I don't know if they win. So I think that on offense, I think Trayvon Walker continues to trend up for me, getting healthier, and I think there's going to be a lot of focus on Josh Hines-Allen. I think Trayvon Walker's going to wreck this game in some areas, not just in the run game, but he's made critical fourth down plays consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go with the Jags. I mean, why not? The thing about sports is Denver's won 11 in a row. That's hard to manage. That's maybe the toughest thing Sean Payton has to deal with this week is they've won 11 in a row, so keep the streak going, but they also clinched the playoffs. And so you take a little bit of a breath,
Yeah.
right? And it's just the Jags coming in.
Yep.
So I think that favors the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are playing for a bunch this week. And I think they find a way to win like 27-23.
Dan, what do you got?
I'm gonna go. I really want to say like LaQuint Allen and in ETN specifically just for the pass blocking, pass protection.
Yep.
But Jacoby Myers, just how much the Jaguars' offense has changed since he came in week 10. It's been really night and day from what was going on. The heavy screen usage to now it's a downfield threat.
Yeah, those deep
almost every
digs
pass
are
play.
like their best play, their bread and butter.
And I think it's
now.
opened up so much for Liam Cohen as a play caller to do different things downfield. Trevor's really in right now with Jacoby Myers. If they put Surtain on BTJ, that could be a matchup that you look for across the middle of the field. Defense, Jarian Jones, or I look at Monteric Brown. I think really highly of Cortland Sutton. How the Jaguars really try to defend him is going to be key. He's really good contested catch guy.
It's kind of like a Nico Collins light, I think.
Yeah,
And we struggle with guys like that.
And the Jaguars have been really good at the at pass defenses this year. They lead the NFL. So I'm curious to see getting the hands on balls if they can make some more impressive plays at cornerback. We saw Monteric's crazy catch this past weekend, but that's probably one. I think Denver is a better team.
It's fair.
But Brent brought up a couple of really good points that they've already clinched themselves in. Oh man, I'll go 26-23 Jags.
There you go. Perfect.
You almost got Denver out. You almost said it.
yeah.
I've said they're going to lose this game
It's-
all season.
yeah,
and
Who, the Jags?
yeah.
Yeah, it's the hardest game on the schedule right from April whatever.
Yeah,
you knew it was the hardest game.
even in-
the good
in-
thing is they're getting pretty good weather.
Yeah. Even in the preseason, I thought they'd lose this game. But let's start with offense, though. Offense, to your point, and you made a really good one, too, and I think they've struggled with this position. I think Brenton Strange goes off in this game. I think he gets over 100 yards. I think it's kind of like Trevor's going to go to him quite a bit.
Brenton Strange over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his career high? 90? It's about 90.
Probably did it a few weeks back because he had 3 20-plus yard plays, right? Against the Raiders, was that? Or was that Arizona, maybe?
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
When it comes to offense, I kept looking back at this Commanders game that they played against them, and maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I think not only do I think the tight end position does well in this game, I do think Trevor's legs are kind of like a very underrated one as well, where they play a ton of man. I think Trevor can kind of like last week, get close to 50 yards. Maybe a touchdown. I think that goes a long way too. Defensively, we have to get some sort of pass rush in this game.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's tough.
I don't think we're gonna get it from the defensive line.
I don't.
That's where I'm gonna go. Foye and Devin as a combination. I think not only in the run game because we need to kind of make Bo Nix one-dimensional, but I think whether it's a spy with Foye or Devin or just sending them, frankly, I think that's going to be the sack leaders for us. So I'm going to say like Foye.
Yeah. I can see that.
And then for a score prediction, like I said, I had us losing this game forever.
That's crazy.
I think we're playing better than they are right now.
Do you still have us losing this game?
I have Jacksonville winning 28-27. I think it's gonna be.
He's so dramatic.
We're gonna throw the ball. There's gonna be more points scored in this game because both run games I feel like are gonna kind of stuff each other out. So yeah, I have the Jags winning 28-27. I did say that on Twitter today that we're gonna kind of beat them down, but listen, both teams are basically the same, and Denver should win this game.
They should.
I think they're very.
I think the
they're very
mindsets are just different.
Yeah,
the
and
mindsets are just different.
And I think Denver, I've seen them multiple times throughout the year play not great. I think they're very beatable.
Yeah,
they're we've been in similar situations, kind of playing down to competition. I feel like, but I think we have a really good chance
So
to win this game.
you've brought up the Commanders game, and I haven't watched the game but I will say Washington's a huge outlier in the fact that they're about the only team that consistently runs up tempo no huddle. It's like 65%. The next best team is like 27 or something like that.
What do you think?
Well, the Jags have been doing more of that.
I was
right
gonna
out of the
say,
gates.
what do you think Trevor does his best?
No huddle.
And play action. He's
Yeah.
both really good at
And
both.
he hasn't been the case, but he has been more recently for sure.
They're playing that up tempo. I think we did it like first drive against the Jets.
Yeah.
We
We've
played
been
up
coming
tempo.
out of the gates with a little more tempo.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
times, it's
yeah.
speeding up, getting the snap off quicker, and
Yeah.
getting that wristband working. And they might try to do that with the crowd noise and everything else,
Yeah.
especially early on. Hey, sneaky guy to keep an eye on is Dewey Wingard. He goes
I was
back
thinking
home in
Dewey,
this
too.
game.
Yeah.
So that's a hometown game for him. I think
Nice.
that will mean a lot to him. He
Yeah.
plays with that kind of
Yeah.
emotion and energy and fire. And
Definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big Dewey play in this football game.
I would love to see it. I would
Awesome.
love to see it.
Real quick, guys. Quick 30-second plug. What do you guys got? Anything? I know with Action Sports Jacks, you guys are doing a ton. We're having Mia O'Brien come on the 6th in January. So we're trying to get as many Action Sports Jacks people in as possible. So anything you want to shout out? Where can they find you? Find your work?
I write for Action Sports Jacks almost every day, about 4 times a week. I would love to tell you guys what I have planned, but it's kind of sometimes I go out and specifically look for a stat,
Okay.
and other times I just kind of look for outliers.
Okay.
So there's some times where somebody will be curious about something or ask me, and I look it up, and it's just like they're 17th or 18th
Yeah.
or 15th, and it's like there's not much to. But it's a lot of that where I just kind of let the the players' stats or team stats speak for themselves,
Cool.
and then I just relay that.
Yeah.
Whether it's online or in articles for Action Sports Jacks.
Tell them where they can find you on
Yeah,
Twitter, bro.
we love it, by
We
the way.
love it.
Because
Yeah, no,
it's
100%.
a good angle because not, everybody kind of gives generic stuff, but you kind of go deep into the
Yeah,
numbers, which
definitely.
we appreciate as a Jags Twitter community. I think we can also kind of speak to it.
I try. I post multiple times a day on Twitter at Dandy Griffis, and part of I was telling Brent this I want to have like the most informed. I just want to try to give as much information as I can, and there'll be a stat where it's bad against the player or good against the player, and they may be back-to-back days. Just trying to give out as much context as I can to whether it's the player, the team, and also give some guys recognition that maybe
You wouldn't like Ezra Cleveland or something.
correct. Or Cole Van Lanen.
Right.
He's gotten some more recognition simply because no sacks in back-to-back games.
Sure.
And he's kind of replacing Walker Little. But, before left tackle, it wasn't as much talked about. And he's the only offensive player to play 4 positions this season. But that's what I try to kind of do. And everyone has opinions, and my thing is, all right.
Here's the facts.
How can I be useful?
Yeah.
I'm not there as a beat reporter to talk to the players every day, but I still want to try to provide something valuable to the fans, whether it's Jaguars or NFL in general.
Oh, we
Daniel
appreciate
does
it,
a
man.
great job, man. Check them out, actionsportsjacks.com. And while you're there, you can watch our 24-hour sports network right on the website or on our app, Action News Jacks app, or from your smart TV. It's 2 years old in February, and we're on 10 to 1 with Austin Lane every day. So a lot of Jags talk there.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then we're on
Jags
CBS
talk.
47, Fox 30. I mean, if we want to go another 5 minutes, I'll tell you everything we've got. But,
Well, come here tomorrow.
Yeah, Strings Strings here in Springfield. Jaguars All Access on Thursdays.
Access,
By the
baby.
way, the next 2 will be on Tuesdays because of
Okay.
the holiday.
Okay.
Cool.
And then Mondays we do Jags Report Live from Strings in Jax Beach.
Yep.
And usually you have a player every show. And something a little bit different we're doing this week. Sunday we're doing a live postgame show on Fox 30.
Nice.
Coming out of it live from Denver. So we don't usually have the opportunity to do that, but
Yeah.
because of the big game, that we have a window to do it. So right after the game, up until 8 o'clock, you can watch it live on TV.
Beautiful.
Post-game show. Probably a lot more coming down the road as soon as they clinch the playoffs. So
That would be awesome.
we've got you covered all over the place with Action Sports Jacks.
Love
That's
that,
awesome,
man.
guys. Well, we
Love that.
appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you,
Being
guys.
patient. So, love to have you on again. But yeah, that wraps it up for us, guys. Please like and subscribe. Does big thing for us. Keep helping us make more content like this. So,
Thank you, guys.
let's get a Duval and get out of here. Duval. Oh, you guys left me by
Sorry,
myself.
I thought we were gonna do a countdown. You didn't even. You just jumped into it. I thought we were gonna
You
do
were
like a
reading
1,
me.
2, 3.
Yeah, how many
All
times
right.
have you dipped into the Liam Duval?
Whoa,
see,
we
that's
started
what
most.
we need to
All
start
right,
doing those.
For good luck. 1, 2, 3. Duval. Peace.